Hi, this is Professor DeFrance. We're going to take a look at our week 6 schedule in the summer here of 2021. We look at the all assignments and readings link there, which is the second one on our page. It brings you to week 6. Can't believe we're already at week 6, right? But here we are. So with that in mind, if you have anything that you have not turned in, please do submit it, especially if it's a major assignment. You don't, I'm going to open everything back up. There's no reason that you should take a 0 on anything. And in this last week, we're doing a paper, which is Essay 4. Essay 4 is going to be very similar to Essay 3 that we wrote in week 3, the visual text analysis. This is a rhetorical text analysis, so we're looking at a text and not a movie or a type of visual text. But you'll find in terms of structure and organization and purpose, these papers are very similar, if not in some ways, like in terms of organization, they're rather identical. And this week, week 6. Oh, you know what? That's good. All right, so week 6 also includes the opportunity for you to revise and edit the research paper. So I'm going to clarify the announcement that I put up a few minutes ago there. Your research paper is not due, actually. I'm going to take it probably just up to the end there, because what I wanted to provide you with this week is that opportunity to spend a little time on revising and editing your research paper. That's wonderful that I scheduled it that way. I love it. Quiz 4. You have the final quiz on rhetorical analysis, which would be great to take after you've read the lecture. Or watch the lecture as well. There are 2 discussion questions for this week. There are a number of readings here. Semicolons, A Love Story, Stephen King's Why We Crave Horror Movies, a number of other pieces here that relate to rhetorical analysis or research paper writing. And the other thing to keep in mind, of course, this week is to submit. Sorry, that's my dog. He loves to play on plastic for some reason. So that's that sound that you keep hearing there, and he just won't stay still. So we're going to take a look at Essay 4 here in a minute. But as far as the overview for week 6, that's what week 6 is. We are writing one last essay, taking time to revise, edit, and submit the research paper. So really, whenever you feel like you're ready to do that, you can go ahead and do that. But do go ahead and do also take the time to, as I advise, to revise and edit the paper. There's a section in the research paper lecture on how to revise it, like close to the end there. Quiz 4, 2 discussion questions. Okay. And then, as I mentioned before, if you missed anything, please go ahead and submit those. All right, so that takes you through week 6 as an overview. Let's take a look at what week 6, what Essay 4 is. As with Essay 3, Essay 4 also provides you with a lot of freedom. So it gives you that same amount of freedom to say what you want to study. What do you want to look at during this time? All right, so here we are in this section. We've got the essay, we've got the rough draft. It's the only other things that are worth points right there. Sample essays. There's the print lecture and the video lecture. Make sure to look at both. The print lecture, I guess the best way to explain it is that they each have things that the other doesn't have. Like, there are things in the print lecture that aren't in the video lecture. Mainly the rhetorical devices, which is a huge part of it, right? If you're looking at the video lectures, it's a 4-part series, and they add things. I add things that are not in the print lecture. So they naturally should, they supplement each other. It's just like a primer. You get your readings here, videos, resources. Rhetorical terms, highly important. Just like the visual text, the film glossary terms that I put together for Essay 3, this would be the corresponding terms glossary for Essay 4. Extremely important. Print it, download it, do whatever you want to do, but make sure that you use it as a resource, because it is a very good one. Do check this out. This is fun. The periodic table of figures of speech. This is just wonderful. Check it out on your own time, but it's great. And I'll go ahead and take this opportunity to mention, I really don't like to give Fs, and I don't like to hand out zeros. So if there's anything that you can do to help me not have to do that, that'd be great. I've done this for a long time, so of course I will do what needs to be done and enter the enter the zeros, but it's not something that I enjoy. I would much prefer to give you, to grade your work based on assessing it. Anyway, it's always good to turn in your work and not have zeros. All right, so this is what Essay 4 is. Essay 4 is a rhetorical text analysis. Like I said, very similar in purpose and in structure to Essay 3, the visual text analysis. If you remember how to write the visual text analysis that we did that was week 3, it's identical to that. The current U.S. presidential administration has hired you, as they sometimes do hire new graduates, to rhetorically analyze a great speech of your choice, anything other than Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech, as that one is so widely studied. So please do not select that one. Dr. King, for example, if you're hung up on him, and who wouldn't be? He was one of the greatest speakers of the 20th century. He has so many other speeches. I mean, look at From the Mountaintop, for example. That's a great one. There are so many Dr. King speeches that are just brilliant. Yeah, all right, let's move on from there. Please don't use this particular one. And actually, let's take a minute as we pause and we get into this. the reason why I like speeches is because it's the right size. You know, basically, when you're looking at an assignment like this and you have to write, oh, I think elsewhere I had changed the page. It was not going to be this long. Here, let me fix that real quick. This is going to be like the other one, and we're just going to do 4. You know, if you happen to do 5, that's fine. But we're going to stick to a 4 to 5 page essay here. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you on that one. I had no intention of making that a 6-page essay or a 5-page, 5 to 6 anyway. Because we just, actually, no, because, sorry, I just looked at the date, right? And the other reason, of course, is because there's no time. Well, what I think I had planned in my notes was to do not a 0-page essay, a 4-page essay. Yeah, there we go. Because this is such a short week. Yeah, there's only a couple days there. All right, so let's take a brief pause. What is a rhetorical text before we get into this thing, right? Rhetorical texts can be like the things you might do or study for this essay: poem, short story, speech. You know, those would probably be comfortable areas. You know, you could do a novel or something like a longer piece like that, but if you did, I would pick a very short novel, like a 200 and something page, you know, anything over 300, and you're getting, you know, that's just a lot to cover, especially in 4 pages. What I like about speeches, for example, is that most of them, when you look at the transcript of them, they're between 5 and 20 pages in length, and they always have a message. They tend to use a lot of rhetorical devices, and it just becomes a very easy kind of game. You can sort all that out. You know, you look at the maid, right? What's the message? Who's the audience? What are the devices? And do you find it to be effective? You know, it's an analytical device that you can also use in rhetorical analysis as well as visual text analysis. All right, so we kind of covered that part. So let's get it. We covered what rhetorical texts are. Let's go ahead and get into it then. So what you're going to do once you pick your text, you want to, oh, one final word about that. Just don't pick anything that would be, you know, like ridiculously long. Like I would not choose, I don't know, say, here, I'll grab something. Oh, okay, here's one. I would not choose The Count of Monte Cristo for this, the Dumas, the classic Dumas revenge novel. I would not choose this one, of course, because this is well, anyway, in this particular version of it comes out to over 1,000 pages. I have another printed version that's smaller, so it's only 500, but still, I wouldn't choose like a 570 page or anything longer than that. I mean, that would just be a ridiculously long piece. Anyway, so construct an argument about why the text is effective in delivering its message to its primary audience. Provide a close reading of the text. Organize the essay around rhetorical devices that make the text effective. You will want to address the following questions, which are listed here. And let me know if you have any questions.